Hello everybody, my name is Zach, aka the Weather Gamer. No camera because it's a draft recap, and the way Jetman made his slides for LDL, it's hard to put a camera in there. So we're going to jump right into it. This is Wi-Fi, so I finally get to step my foot back into Wi-Fi. It's been like 4 months since I got to play Wi-Fi, so I'm happy. LDL's doing Wi-Fi. I was 6th pick. We did, well, not we, because I didn't really have much of a say in it, but LDL decided you could either play on the LAN timer, which is what I did with APA, or we can play on the standard 20-minute timer, and how points are awarded depends on, if you win the match before going to timer, you get 3 points. If you win the match going to timer, you get 2 points. If it's a 3-0 or better, you get 1 point if it's a 3-0 or less. If you lose, you get 0 points. So on and so forth. Something like that. But we had 120 points, 9 to 12 mons. I was 6th pick. Rillaboom went in the first round, which really frustrated me because I was going to pair it with something else, and it didn't happen. So, anyways, starting off our draft, 6th pick, we take Excadrill. I have been dying to try Excadrill in Gen 8. I have never gotten to use Excadrill in Gen 8. It has been a long time. It's been almost a year since I used Excadrill in general. So, I'm very happy to have Excadrill. Rapid Spin is very good on it because of the fact it gets the speed boost. Obviously, Mold Breaker is a fantastic ability. There's the sand aspect of it. It's a phenomenal steel type that can set up, has decent coverage. Also just, hits like a truck. You don't need sand because of the rapid spin boost. So it gives me a massive offensive ground and steel type right off the bat. Now, I was going to pair this with T-Tar, because I was going to get sand, and then somebody sniped T-Tar right, I think 3 picks after me, somebody sniped T-Tar. Or no, 3 picks before me. Somebody took T-Tar, and then somebody took Rillaboom. And I know Rillaboom and sand, why? Because I needed a grass type to break bulky waters, and I can run high horsepower on Excadrill. I don't have to run Quake. So I can get around the grassy terrain problem. And it would take out some of the ground weakness that I would have by putting terrain up. But nope, somebody took Drill, so, or somebody took T-Tar, so, I decided to shift my plans, and just said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to draft whatever I can, just to be annoying and bulky, and, give myself some viability, so if I do get into a situation where I need to take it to timer, I can. What better mon to take it to timer than Clefable? Obviously, Clefable is a jack-of-all-trades type mon, kind of like Mew. Having the ability to Wish Port is very big for it. Stealth Rocker, it's just generally an annoying mon. Magic Guard being fantastic, so I don't get poisoned or paralyzed or whatever. Unaware is great for setup sweepers, to shut them down so they can't. I'll ignore their boosts, except for Stored Power Mew, but I believe Mew is not in the game, so no worries about that. But yeah, Clefable just is kind of a jack-of-all-trades thing, and it gives me a fantastic defensive fairy type to pair with my offensive steel type, and just makes a very, very prominent FDS core, starting, so. Speaking of the FDS core, I know, this thing is getting into Zero Aura territory, because I keep drafting this and Haircross, I keep rotating between the two. I did want to put Goodra on the team, I did want to try Duraludon because I have Excadrill. Dragapult was long gone at this point, so I went back, I grabbed Hydreigon. I know this is the second time I've used Hydreigon in Wi-Fi, but, it's a mon that I'm very, very comfortable with. It is 1 kill away from breaking 30, which puts it in Zero Aura and Alolan Ninetales territory. as the only ones to get 30 kills in my career. It's a fantastic wall breaker. I mean, great stab and Darkened Dragon type stab. Very, very offensive to switch into. Excadrill handles the fairy types pretty well. And the steel types that can kind of sit in on Hydreigon. It's fantastic as a special mon, you know, with Nasty Plot setup, specs, scarf sets, base 98 speed sets right under the base 100s. If this thing was base 100 speed, it'd be so much better. Just from a broken standpoint, I mean, it's already a fantastic mon, but give it base 100 speed and it's just broken. It does have the physical side, you know, it does have access to Stone Edge and Head Smash and Wild Charge and Iron Tail and obviously Outrage with Dragon Dance, so it can be a physical set. I've tried running physical sets before, and it can do damage when you're not paying attention. So, it does have Crunch for physical Dark Stab. I would have laughed if they gave this thing Knockoff, it just smacks you with one of its heads. But no, Excadrill, Clefable, Hydreigon makes for a very, very nasty FDS core right off the bat. Now, one thing I do struggle with is bulky waters, and also I'm going to have some issues with bulky grass types. You know, Hydreigon firing off, Fire Blast can only do so much. So to kind of deal with those problems a little bit, I end up grabbing Rotom Heat. This is actually the second time I've used Rotom Heat. The first time I had it for a week and then dropped it when I took over a team. All the way back to like month 2 of me doing YouTube and draft leagues. Me doing draft leagues because I did a couple months of draft leagues before I started YouTube. Rotom Heat has become a fantastic defensive mon with heavy-duty boots. It can pretty viably come in on all hazards. Doesn't have to fear rocks. Can defog away. Can be annoying with Will-O-Wisp and T-Wave. Pain Split, obviously. Toxic. Another good one. It also can work as a very fantastic offensive threat with the fact that you can run, you know, Scarfed or Spec sets potentially. There's even the Nasty Plot set. Nasty Plot Overheat lets you fire off 2 Overheats before you're kind of forced to switch. Does give me momentum, which everything but Drill on this team right now has momentum. Clef can teleport, Hydreigon can U-turn, and Rotom can Volt Switch. So it's going to allow me to keep momentum flying on my side of the field and playing very fast offensive games, which is what I'm going to have to do if I'm on the 20-minute timer. After that, I decided, okay, bulky waters are still a problem for my team because Rotom still takes damage from water types. So I grabbed Decidueye here. Obviously, you guys can guess that I'm probably building towards a sand team at this point, if you haven't already figured it out. I do end up drafting a sand setter here in the back end of the draft, but I grabbed Decidueye. It's another hazard removal and defog. It does offer nice viability in the fact that it can be physical with Swords Dance sets, it can be special with Nasty Plot sets, it has the move pool coverage to run either side. It obviously is another pivot with U-turn. It does get reliable recovery and roost and synthesis, so if I don't have sand I can synthesis. If I do have sand I can roost, obviously. I can trap things with Spirit Shackle potentially. To remove them, it takes out bulky waters pretty reliably because it's got a very nice Spadef stat. So it can take on, you know, Ice Beams pretty decently. Physically defensive, it's not the greatest, but it's still a very, very good mon. And I'm excited to actually get to use it again. I picked it up midway through an APA and then didn't do a whole lot with it. Same with WWC. So I am actually really, really excited for Decidueye again. It also gives me a spin blocker as well, which is really, really nice. Speaking of the sand, I did go with Giggleth here. I didn't want to run Hippowdon for a second ground type, just making my team Ice Weak with the fact that I had Hydreigon there as well. Giggleth just has such a massive physical defense stat that I really only have to worry about like Aura Sphere and Focus Blasts, Vacuum Waves coming after me because of how defensive Giggleth is. The fighting type is not nearly as bad as it was. Obviously, Decidueye helps mitigate that. Rotom Heat can help mitigate fighting types by Will-O-Wisping them. Drill doesn't appreciate them. Clefable can take them out, as long as they don't carry Poison Jab. And Hydreigon doesn't like fighting types. But yeah, I've used Giggleth once in my career. You gotta go all the way back to the first ever league I had, where I had both Giggleth and Hippowdon, because it was an RNG league and I wanted multiple Sand Setters just in case RNG did not favor one, it would pick the other, and then I'd have Sand support for my Mega Garchomp. But yeah, it's a monstrously defensive Mon. Obviously, Iron Defense Body Press has become a very big tech on it. It's another Stealth Rocker. Just massive defensive wall. So we'll see. I'm excited to use Giggleth again. Next Mon, returning from last season, I did pick up Intellion. This was mainly a speed grab because Hydreigon was the fastest thing on my team. Intellion now at 120, forces Scarf Prep. Intellion is very good. It does have Sniper, so obviously, you know, crit Intellion sets are really good. It can run physical. It does have the move pool to run physical. It can run special. I believe it gets workup, so it can set up and boost both. Very good move pool in the fact that it has U-turn as well as flip turn. It gets Ice Stab, or not Ice Stab, but it gets Ice type hits, Shadow Ball, Dark Pulse, Air Slash, so it can hit Grass types coming in on it as well. And it's a really nice, reliable, fast water type. So I'm excited to actually give it another try. Late in the game, I went for Gengar. I know this is weird. Why do I have Decidueye Gengar? Oh, and by the way, Decidueye Gengar and Hydreigon. Doesn't that look very familiar? Yes, I know. That is my APA core. I picked up Gengar again for a speed grab. I wanted something between Hydreigon and Intellion just so I could sit something right in the middle and kind of force some jolly adamant shenanigans to occur. Obviously, Gengar is a fantastic wall breaker. I'm using it in WWC. Hydreigon and Gengar cover each other very, very well. Drill does this as well. I am very ground weak, which is why Hydreigon having Levitate, Rotom Heat having Levitate, and Decidueye are all very, very nice for ground checking. So, but yeah, I mean, the last two picks have basically been speed grabs and kind of necessity. Gengar is another spin blocker. It does give me a T-Spike Absorber, so but yeah, adding Gengar to the pile there. Then we went for Haircross. Haircross, I was looking for bug and fighting type. Again, being so ground weak, having Haircross that resists ground type hits is just really another nice situation. The fighting type is obviously really nice for breaking through rock types if I don't bring Drill or something like that. Guts, Moxie Scarf, all very viable sets with Haircross, Banded Haircross. I'm looking forward to trying Haircross again. Last time I used it was TBC and I didn't have it long enough to actually give it a spin and see how it turned out. So, but yeah, Haircross. Looking forward to using it. It was a nice speed tier as well at 87. Yeah, it's close to Rotom Heat, but most of the time I'll probably be running Rotom Heat on the defensive side, so having, an offensive base 80 Mon in Haircross is really, really nice. And then last but not least, something that I have been drafting a lot lately, just because it has fit very, very nicely into where I needed it. Galarian Mr. Mime. It gives me an Ice type, gives me a Psychic type. Base 100 speed's nothing to sleep at. It is another hazard control Mon with the fact that it also gets rapid spin.
Trick sets are really, really nice. Like Trick Scarf Encore, I've used that in NCL a couple of times. Because it really helps shut down those Psychic types from setting up in front of you. Those stored Power Mons can't set up when you trick them a Scarf and shut them down. So, but yeah, Glaring was for mine. So that's going to be the team. I am breeding all of these as we speak in order to use them. Biggest problem I have right now is I don't have a Mold Breaker Excadrill for when I don't bring Sand Drill. So I need to come up with one of those, and I need to come up with a Moxie Haircross because I don't have one of those. If you have one and you're willing to trade it to me and it's on one of the Gen 6 or 7 games, that would be great. So, but yeah, that's going to be our team for LDL. Let me know what you guys think. I'm already excited that I'm back in Wi-Fi. Who do you think is going to be our kill leader? I know there's a problem with fighting types that have knockoff and poison jab. I just don't have switch-ins to those. But other than that, what do you guys think? So, with all that being said, I will see you next time.